What's up, beautiful soul? Let me turn it down. Hope y'all all having a beautiful night. It's a real peaceful night. And I asked God, what should I do a live on today? And He put it in my heart to explain shamanism. As a master shaman, I believe the term is either misunderstood or there's a false narrative on shamans. And I feel like I need to explain who I am and how I got here. Okay? So stay with me. All right? Okay. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Excuse me. 1 second. All right. All right. Here we go. Okay. So we want to dive into shamanism. My name is Jahmel Sterling, and I am a master shaman. Okay. All right. Okay. So, first and foremost, I want you to look at these pictures here. This is a monk, right? This is a regular shaman from a tribe, and this is Yeshua, Jesus. One thing all three of these people have in common, these extraordinary human beings have in common, is they have gained access to spirit. They've become one with God. Each one of these powerful men have died, and when they died, God chose them for another mission. I say this because as a master shaman, I don't want people to listen to me and follow me with false pretenses and false narratives. I want people to know that I am a real shaman and there is a story behind me becoming a shaman. And I had to get through the flesh and the mud in order to be ordained spiritually by God, to become one with God, to be blessed with the abilities that I have. As you see on my timeline, I have some extraordinary abilities that were only gifted upon me by the utmost highlight God. Okay. So I put these three exceptional shamans and enlightened human beings up here to tell my story. Okay. So growing up, I was always different. Okay. I've always led with a sacred heart of Yeshua, which made me different, which made me ostracized, which made me not like the rest. Okay. So I immediately grew up with this false narrative that something was wrong with me because I cared too much. I cared about the animals, I cared about the trees, I cared about everything from the air to Mother Gaia at a young age. But because I wasn't the norm and I was considered ADHD or whatnot or what have you, um, I could remember at the age of 10 having a pen pal in another country. I don't know if you guys remember when the kids was asking for sponsors to feed them. I literally had me someone that I sponsored that I would do chores. And when I didn't get my allowance, I would be so distraught. So at a young age, I knew that I loved animals, Mother Gaia, and I knew I had this close connection. There was one time I got lost out in the desert in Arizona as a child. And but first time I heard spirit direct me to get out of the woods because there was a wild boar in the woods. And that's when I was lost because if you guys know Arizona and the motocross and the javelina, spirit told me there was a javelina close to me and told me to go the other way. And then as I went the other way, Spirit told me there's a snake and instilled in me to grab the snake and throw it. And this is the first time Spirit came to me at the age of 10. And at this time, I was being abused and whatnot, or what have you. And I really just didn't know. I thought abuse was regular. So I'm not about to sit here and act like a victim because I got used to it. And but I always stayed with a sacred heart, something that I have in common with these three exceptional um, human beings that evolved into beings of God and light. Okay. So as I got older, I literally, because I was different, because being raised around a lot of narcissism, and I didn't know if I was normal. And so I was ostracized in so many ways because I was different. I used to tell family I had visions. I used to tell family I knew what was going to happen when my brother died, stuff like that. I knew what was going to happen. Um, Family would come to me for advice on the low, but when they were with other family, they would talk about me behind my back. So I didn't understand the dynamics. Um, I had a stepmother that would, like my current stepmother, would ask me like really good questions to where I thought we was really cool. And like, how are you so blessed? I didn't understand why the woman that abused me asked me these questions. And until, because at this time I was battling addiction. So I didn't understand why is she asking me this? And she used to say, it's in your eyes, it's in your eyes. And I swear it never dawned to me. Um, and then I always had this righteous judgment. And like for instance, my stepmother was going to beat my two little sisters from my dad's previous marriage. And at the age of 13, I jumped in front of her and told her, "You're not going to beat my sisters. Go ahead and beat me." And I literally let her jump on me. And the same one that said it's in your eyes, she jumped on me and started punching me in my eyes. Okay. But as I got older and became a shaman, I found out that the power is in the eyes. But then I'm gonna dive into what Spirit told me about a lot of the people that were in my life that actually were used their magic for bad. They were actual powerful beings doing witchcraft. All right, and did witchcraft to get love and anything that they wanted. And so, as a shaman growing up, I had pressure makes diamonds, right? So I've always been for righteous judgment, for peace, for love. Um, but unfortunately, I didn't grow up around those type of people that felt like it was okay to do things which to each their own. But I don't agree with having a whole bunch of kids and then adopting them out and then favoring these kids, and then having incest, all this other type of stuff that I found out because I was raised in the military around the suburbs around and then Spirit raised me internally to know what was right. So as I experienced these things of dysfunction, I rebelled because I found out that people close to me were doing things that were not of spiritual moral integrity. So I literally, when I joined the military, I literally was just still a different type of person, but I excelled, right? But I found out years later that my stepmother was calling people in the military to sabotage my character because of who I was. And this is the same one that was like from a kid because I had reconstructive eye surgery at 10 years old. Okay. So after I had reconstructive eye surgery, my light started to evolve. And after this is when things started to happen. The stepmother turned like severely evil. And this is the same one that punched me in my eyes. Like didn't punch me anywhere else but in my eyes. And I'm the same one who had reconstructive eye surgery at 10. So I used to talk to my dog when I was that age, and I never at that age I thought it was taboo. Like he's talking to his dog, right? And it turned out that I used to make this journal, and as I made this journal, um, my family found my journal that I made about all this abuse at the age of 12. I was making a journal. I used to write in the journal. I talked to the dog and she was talking to me back. And I never to this day realized that they seen this journal, right? So people knew who I was going to be, but I still didn't quite know who I was. So I want to make this story, I want to sister my story to the story of Yeshua and regular shamans who go through the mud. Okay. So I want to say again with Yeshua, he had to die to be reborn. So as I grew up, I literally, on occasions of being just severely depressed, I OD'd like multiple times, right? And as I did, I literally would go and be alone. I would be alone, literally ODing and having to be kept in a basement of like, I remember being at Atlanta Grady, where I went to a hotel room with I had nothing but I had crystal meth, I had coke, and I had a bottle of Hennessy. And I was just like, I just don't get life. I don't understand why, I had so much dysfunction and this just wasn't me. So after the moment that I died, I had these visions of talking to God, and God told me that the reason it was so hard for me is because I was a chosen seed. I come from royal DNA and a bloodlines in this life and also past lives. And that's why this life don't seem right to me. Um, and that's where all my abilities and all this comes from. And I was put here during this time of revelations, right? So after I woke up, I realized that, um, I don't give testimony to demean anyone or a certain group of people or anything like that. My testimony was given to me to make stuff known, to bring stuff to the forefront, because what I have experienced is a plague on humanity. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't like the truth or to hear the truth. And I could sit here all day and tell you a lot of stuff I've been through. However, the point of it is that I needed to go through it, and I am appreciative of those moments and those times, right? So let me go ahead and dive more into this. Okay, shaman, sometimes polarized as shamans, are mortal mediators between the very elements themselves. Often spiritual guides of their communities, these powerful practitioners commune with the ancestors and seek to balance and raging elements' forces and can call upon them to battle to scorch and blast their enemies or to strengthen and heal their allies. Shaman can enhance their weapons with elemental effects, smite enemies with lightning strikes and bursts of lava, and summon powerful elementals to their aid. Okay, a shaman has righteous judgment and has spiritual authority and protection. So when I died without any karma, and I died because of other people's pain. And so with that being said, I was deemed in the same category of a Yeshua, which I was to come back and share my sacred heart and abilities and lead humanity. Okay. With this, you got to understand, in order to be a shaman, there is a consensus that you have got to understand that all beings are one. Okay, which is the truth. You got to know where everyone came from, which is a whole history that's in my videos. Um, but there is a certain bit of history and wisdom that you obtain, okay, that majority cannot even wrap their minds around. Because as a shaman, I don't live in just this realm, I live in multiple realms, and I heal in different realms. Um, Shamans are the only one that has divine authority and can give people karma. However, I'm not cut like that, so I always give karma and give God so God can deal the karma. You understand what I'm saying? So I have no problem saying that somebody deserves karma, but I make sure that I give the karma and the lesson of the repercussion and punishment to God, because and that he wouldn't want it no better. Okay, that's spiritual moral integrity. The shaman is a hybrid class, able to specialize in offensive spellcasting, melee damage dealing, or healing. As such, the class is considered highly adaptable and versatile. Shaman can also use a selection of stationary totems to gain a wide variety of effects, from restoring mana and automatically healing allies to snaring foes and attacking the shaman's enemies. Shamans are versatile and formidable opponents, able to respond to any situation with a range of unique abilities. Okay. Um, Again, as a shaman, I am untouchable. As a shaman, I am a part of the high council of the highest white light. I have been ordained. Regardless of what the 3D world wants to say and how they do whatever, you ask God about me. Okay. I could show you better than I could tell you. Okay. The thing that I don't do is cause people harm and ask any spirits to do harm to anyone. Okay, that's one thing I don't do because I'm not cut like that. Okay, however, I can. Um, I do condone karma to be had, and the same type of energy that was given to me to hurt me in any way to be given back 10 times because of the flesh. Okay, that's something I do. Okay, but I don't wish harm or put black. I don't do that to keep my karma A1. Okay, but I do have divine authority. So, with that being said, anyone or anything that tries to come for me or put anything on me or hurt me in any way, they get karma. I am a angel, a earth angel. I don't have any bad karma. I have never hurt anyone. I have only been hurt, unfortunately. Okay. So, with that being said, that is the way of the shaman. So, recently I went through this episode a while back, where I had a dream that I needed to move. I left everything because that's when my spiritual journey started. Okay, my abilities were there, but they weren't to where they needed to be because there was too much noise and bad toxic energy around me that I needed to let go in order to leave humanity. Okay. Um, and that's when my ability started really kicking in. However, I had my ability since a child. Let's be clear on that. But I needed to reach a state of maturity and healing that lack and able to transmute all that hard pain that I experienced. I had to transmute it into love, light, and unity. Okay, and that's what makes the shaman special, because we're able to transmute energy. We're able to we're in between worlds, so we're able to communicate with all things, all one with God, anything in the cosmos. Whether you believe me or not, I am in contact with extraterrestrials, all beings, angels, ancestors, ascended masters. They all talk to me and they all protect me. Okay, because they are my ancestors, all of them. Okay. So we have an understanding. I am them and they are me. Okay. So let's keep going. All right. This is a shaman. And this is how he is governing fire. So shamans like myself, we understand that earth, fire, wind, water, these elements were prevalent before man existed. Okay. So you got to understand, without these elements, DNA wouldn't even be able to breathe and you probably wouldn't have been created. So that's why the elements are so, can cause life and can cause death. And so it's a shamans, because of the royal bloodline and DNA, and not just this life, but past lives that run through us, we're able to control these elements. Okay. And not just these elements, but we're able to control beings and talk to beings and the whole nine. So again, this was gifted to me after ODing and dying years ago. I had to, just like Yeshua, I had to die to be ordained. Okay, that was the test. So when I died, I had no bad karma. So all my pain that festered in me from the depression and whatnot came from other people. So when God met me, when I was literally coming back to life, he chose me because of my spirit lineage. I was a pharaoh. I was Thoth in a past life. So that's why my wisdom is so tough. Okay, and I also lived in Atlantis, and so on and so forth. And so I was deemed, and then my bloodlines of this time. So I was deemed by God, and then but the difference is that I also governed the Sacred Heart of Yeshua, which God chose me for these abilities because He knows that I will use spiritual moral integrity. Okay, so this is the fire and the fire dance, to induce the fire and the spirit of the fire, and passion and love, and because fire doesn't have to be bad, it can be war, but it also can be the passion of the Sacred Heart, as you see the Sacred Heart and the fire that burns on top of it, right? You follow? So again, we want to go back to these three special beings: the monk, the shaman, and Yeshua, and the similarities between all of them having to do a spiritual death before being reborn with abilities. Okay, because these souls are old souls. We've lived before the beginning of time. Okay, so these are the souls that's gifted with these abilities because we chose to come here for this particular mission during this time. Okay, shamanism is an ancient healing tradition and, moreover, a way of life. It is a way to connect with nature and all of creation. The word shaman originates from the Tungus tribe in Siberia. Anthropologists coined this term and have used it to refer to the spiritual and ceremonial leaders among indigenous cultures worldwide, like Native American cultures, where they have the shaman, the witch doctors, so on and so forth. Okay. Um, the word shamanism can be used to describe the ancient spiritual practices of these genuous cultures, excuse me. Clearly, the countless similarities between various ancient traditions played a role in the continual generation of the word. Sorry, generation of the word. Apologize. Okay, so when I'm going to dive into this, um, when I had my vision, when I knew that I was going to become a shaman, I got this crystal called the Moldenite, and I was going through this dark night of the soul where I felt like I was attacked. And I reached out to people and family that was like well, just not everybody, but I reached out to somebody. And instead of being there for me, they turned against me like I was some type of witch or something. But it was justifiable because they didn't know. And as I was telling them, I'm being attacked by spirit, right? Not knowing that I was going through a dark night of the soul, an initiation by God to be able to harness and control spirit, right? So I went in a trance, and I went into a spaceship, and the leader of it was like the captain of the ship. He looked at me, and I was surprised I wasn't scared. Let's be clear. So I'm looking at him. He has some lips, so I wouldn't be scared. He had like some magazine lips, like some them Kylie Jenner lips posting on his face because he knew it would make me laugh. Because they have like a subconscious telepathy. I also have that ability of telepathy, and he could like talk to you. And so I'm laughing. I'm like, "Yo, bro, I'm sorry." You know what I'm saying? He started laughing, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, so he's like, I hear you have questions, and I'm like, yes, I have questions. And he's like, what are they? I said, why do I consider myself a king? Why do I consider myself an angel? He said, because you are. He was like, you've reached spiritual maturity, and you have no karma, and you are a perfect soul. And I couldn't understand this because going through so much abuse from a whole bunch of like narcissism and stuff like that, you always raise that you're not good enough. So um but I have this heart that even beings, I love everybody. I don't care. you know. So, um, but then he was like, I used to be in space. It was like being home. And like I knew who he was. So it was so extraordinary that he was just like, you just need to chill out, relax. You're doing great. We're so proud of you for handling, your life like this and just loving in despite. And I'm like, great. I'm like, well, thank you. And so it was just an extraordinary experience. So that's where these shamans get these cultural abilities from, because most shamans and people with extraordinary abilities have lived before the beginning of time, and they have been these extraterrestrials or what have you, or been powerful people with abilities in a past life. Okay. um so let's go over some more. Over the past few decades, the term shamanism has been popularized throughout the Western world, especially in New Age circles. Today, it can be difficult to distinguish between traditional forms of shamanism and modernized and often esoteric practices that utilize the term. One could view shamanism as a universal spiritual wisdom inherent to all indigenous tribes. As all ancient spiritual practices are rooted in nature, shamanism is the method by which we as human beings can strengthen the natural connection. We must know that Mother Gaia is a being. Everything is a being. The plants and animals are her children. The sun is a being, like a person. The moon is a being and a person. Once you acknowledge these fundamentals, it'll help aid in your soul progression. Um, and and so on and so forth. We get that. Um, okay, so as we look at this, the mystic Yeshua and the fragmentation of shamanism. Okay, so shamanism goes back to the Neanderthal days, to and it's kind of baffling to me that as I see these false narratives on shamanism, people calling it witchcraft or whatnot or what have you. But this is what civilization started from. This is what the main religion was. Okay. Um, and so Yeshua was also a shaman. That's why he was able to heal, he was able to be reborn, okay, and so on and so forth, which he had that sacred heart of which he sacrificed himself for his people. Okay, only a shaman has that type of heart. Um, Aspects of shamanism: connection to nature. Shamanism stems from nature itself. Shamanic practices tap into the power Mother Earth has to offer, and the ancient indigenous teachings are derived from the simple truths of nature. Healing of self and community. Shamanism is not only concerned with the health of the individual, but also with the health of the entire community. This includes all people, plants, animals, and all of life. This division in the world is something that God does not want. This is the truth be told. This was the fear since the beginning of time of why half of the council did not want humanity to have consciousness because of what they would do with it. Okay. When humanity figure out that we are all one, there is levels to humanity, and everybody has their own time to evolve into who and whatnot. I've seen all my lives. I've been every race. I've been every gender, and so on and so forth. Um, so, with that being said, if we could understand this instead of praising God in a box, we would live so much better if we honored the plants, honored the animals and life cycles, and so on and so forth, right? Spiritual practice. Daily spiritual practice allows for the continued and exponential growth of mind, body, and soul. The goal is to create internal and external harmony with all creation. So we want to create a synergy of love, light, and unity. A shaman heals from the inside out and can shed a light of peace and love from the inside. Um, I was gifted with shamanism because I was able to defeat so much pain and transmute it into love. And I was able to um, let go of codependencies that was keeping me from the voice of God, right? The goal is to create internal and external harmony with all creation. So once you're able to go put your feet in the sand and under go hug a tree, and you're able to love that tree just as you would love a person or love an animal, don't litter, or even you're a cat running the road, would you stop or would you keep going? Okay. A shaman believes everything is one. And so they're gifted with the abilities for a reason, because God knew, again, we had to die to be reborn. So I had to OD alone to be reborn. God had to deem me necessary with abilities to be reborn because I had no karma and because I loved unapologetically, regardless of what I've been through, and loved everyone. You understand what I'm saying? This is the harmony that a shaman has: peace, love, and unity within. And as an ambassador of the universe, a shaman understands that the vibrations of humanity affects the cosmos. Okay. Um, so this is the synergy when you see a person like a shaman that literally leaves everything from the past and goes gets a hut in the middle of nowhere. He's been directed to do so to nurture his soul, because after that spiritual death of the dark night of the soul, he had to get away from everything that was distracting him from God, from love, from peace, in order to be the best version of himself for the utmost highlight God. Pilgrimage to sacred places. Learning to approach and connect with sacred places is an intrinsic part of shamanism. By honoring natural wonders such as rivers, lakes, mountains, and caves, we reawaken and invigorate the energy of the land. Okay, again, these caves and these exceptional um, rivers and lakes and mountains have been here since the beginning of time, right? But people are idolizing things that are malleable, that have not been around. People are no longer addressing or listening to the way of the shaman. Majority of humanity is superficial in nature. When people were on horses and loving the earth and loving the planet and loving each other, it was a better place. But when the beast started taking over with the corporation and whatnot or what have you, and putting drugs and everything else in the system, and medical drugs, not just street drugs, to control the masses, people are now losing their mind and lost track. And now the universe is handling this not so good. And so that's why a lot of 144,000 shamans are being awakened at this time. Um, Everyone different abilities. I just happen to be more of a more experienced shaman in past lives with heightened abilities, which I am humble and thankful for. Um, Again, I had to die. So a lot of people can be out there jealous or envious or however about abilities, but it's no walk in the park to go through a spiritual awakening of a magnitude of it that what a shaman has to go through. We literally have to battle demons. We really have to battle the devil to get, and we have to battle him with a smile on our face and then love at the end. Okay? Vision and ceremony. Ceremonies to honor the spirits of nature help promote harmony and balance. The path of shamanism never ends. It is believed that so long as these ceremonies continue, the world will go on. Okay, so, we have to do these ceremonies as far as meditation, drummings. Drummings are are seemingly just like the beat of your heart. And as you listen to this drumming, boom, 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 it puts you in a trance to be one with Mother Gaia and one with God. Okay, the vibration and the frequency, right? And This ceremony, you have to have a pure intention of love, light, and unity, and love all. If this is done with malintent, this is called black magic. Okay, which shamans are not. Shamans will only, but shamans are the only ones who could put stuff on people and not get karma, because we have spiritual the spiritual blessing to do so. However, again, I don't, because I'm not cut like that. But I will defend myself and send karma back. Okay. Um, so with that being said, these ceremonies are key to the synergy of the tribe, of the people, um, and love, light, and unity. And most shamans do not hurt anyone unless they're hurting their people. Okay. But shamans cannot be hurt. As a shaman, I can remove curses from people. I can People that are possessed. I could remove the devil. See, there's that I'm not the one they want. You understand? I don't have karma, and I'm protected with the Most High Light. I'm a pure soul. Um, from and before the beginning of time. Okay. This is a shaman right here doing some shaman practices. He has the headdress. The headdress keeps him closer to the heavens. The feather, the eagle feathers, are there's a property that the eagles have. There are spirit animals. Not only spirit, my spirit animal is I have spirit animals, and I have spirit beings that protect me. So there are beings out here in different realms and dimensions that do protect me, um, and that they protect me, and that's just what it is, and that's who protects shamans, because shamans have that that DNA, that extraterrestrial god DNA in them to do what they need to do. That's why a lot of shamans cannot die. Okay. um they could be reprimanded and their abilities can be taken from them. Okay. But again, this is him removing sickness, ills from this older man. Okay. So listen, I wanted to, for real, I wanted to get on here and I wanted y'all guys to understand what a shaman is. Okay? A shaman is not demonic. A shaman can harness the good and the bad. I am a angel light worker, so I harness a lot of light. Okay? Um, I don't put harm on anyone. But I do send karma for anyone that comes at me or in my space in any way. Karma will be had 10 times full. Okay. But as a shaman, I have divine authority to do so. Okay. And I won't receive any karma because I am a chosen seed. Um, I want to correct the false narratives because during this time of this neurological pandemic, it's causing a spiritual welfare on humanity, and it's a must. You understand what I'm saying? That we get the right narrative so that people can get that spiritual help that they need. Um, so, with that being said, my name is Josh Sterling. I am a shaman. I see past, present, and future. I talk to the dead. I help people heal. I have visions. I hear spirits. Um, and I help people heal and grieve properly. Okay. I can heal with my hands. I can anoint the head with oil and remove anxiety and pain. And I could use spirit to diagnose medical issues and so much more. Um, I am that I am. Okay. I won't and can't be defeated. Um, and anyone that would try to defeat a shaman will either get sick, they would die, and the shaman will know who is directing these bad intentions and black magic at them. Let's be extremely clear. But of course, we have poise, dignity, and spiritual integrity. So we're never going to lose handle or go crazy because we're too balanced for that. And we do have a team that will handle our light work. Okay. Um, so I send love and light to all you beautiful souls. You are more than a conqueror. You are victorious. Okay. My name is Ja Sterling. You could email me at ja.sterling@spiritrenew888.com. Okay. You can hit me up on IG. My handle is at the bottom. Okay. I am that I am. Okay. You don't have to know them to love them. You don't have to identify with them to love them. You are more than a conqueror. You are victorious.